Hello everyone, welcome to the Border Battles Show. It's been long regarded as a conspiracy theory, but on Sunday there was evidence that the refs do actually help the Green Bay Packers out.
Yeah?
Or at least they blocked for Marquez Valdez-Scantling.
Oh, I thought you were talking about that almost terrible pass interference call.
Oh, the tip?
Yeah. The Jaguars had a challenge for that.
It was tipped, to be fair.
I stand corrected.
It was just tipped by the player that also committed the pass interference.
Oi, yeah.
What a call. Anyways, we got some great games to talk about. And by great, I mean really gross games that...
Our teams won.
We did.
W's a W, but man, what a path to get there.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure the Vikings are trying to make the playoffs in the ugliest way possible this year.
Yep.
I believe that is your goal, and it appears the Packers are attempting to get the number 1 seed in the ugliest way possible as we barely beat the Jaguars, who suck and have lost 8 straight games. I don't even know where to begin on this game.
It's okay. So I called this first of all.
Yeah, you did say they cover, but can't give yourself too much credit. It was a 13.5 point spread.
Yeah, and you guys handed them a lot of the points.
Yes,
we
did.
Hey.
Yes. First thing I want to point out about this game: 20-24 or 24-20 was the final score. Packers won by 4, but 10 of these points that the Jaguars scored were off of turnovers.
Yep.
We had the Davante Adams fumble, which was pretty bad. Good play by the Jaguars defender punching that out, and then the Aaron Rodgers interception, which was basically a bad throw behind Marquez Valdez-Scantling. So 10 points of their 20 was off of turnovers. Then they had the punt return for a touchdown.
Yep.
So that's 17 of their 20 points was off of Packers' mistakes.
Right.
And I think that really was the story of the game. The Packers made a lot of mistakes. We played really sloppy, and we beat a bad team close because of that.
Yep.
But like the stats of the game, the Jaguars' offense really didn't do much.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they didn't get that much yards. Was it Jake Luton? Who even knows? He had 169 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. Like, he was just exceedingly average. Robinson, of course, got it done on the ground. The Packers are always going to give up 100 yards to whatever running back they play against. It's just a given. Like, you could have a high school running back out there. He'll get 100 yards.
I'm pretty sure if you look at the start-em, sit-ems for, like, if you go online and you're like, hey, who should I start at running back for my fantasy league? And you look up a start-em, sit-em, whoever the Packers are playing will
start
be like, start of the week.
Start him in fantasy every time.
Yep.
It doesn't matter who they are. But yeah, like, the Packers defense came up when they needed to at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Like, if you look at the scoring, like, box score, Packers scored 17 points in the second quarter when the wind was at their back.
Yep.
And then we scored our final touchdown in the fourth quarter when the wind was also at our back.
Yeah.
So it was a very windy day. I don't know how much that played into the Packers' sloppiness, but I just don't think the Packers were... I hate saying they were off because I say that after, like, every time they lose. But there's something about this Packers team where just some weeks they're not at their A game. And it's very apparent.
It's called anytime they're actually tested.
I don't think the Jaguars is really a test. Like, the Jaguars are bad. One thing I will say for the Jaguars team is they were the first team that I saw really, like, try to game plan and do a really good job on Davante Adams. Like, they doubled him a lot. They played really physical with Davante Adams, which is something you kind of have to do. And he had to sit out some plays with an ankle injury. He is injury prone. If you beat him up a little bit, it tends to happen. And but he still had a good game.
Yeah, I think really what it comes down to is the Jaguars knew how to slow you down enough on offense where you weren't just beating them down.
Yep.
And then they were able to take advantage of a couple bad plays by the Packers, and then it made it look close. And to me, that's all there was to that game.
Yeah, pretty much. One interesting note, like coaching decision at the end of the game. 2 minutes left. The Packers are on their own 23-yard line, I think. It was a 3rd and 1. We tried to run Aaron Jones up the middle. If we get the first down, we run out the clock. It's game over.
Yep.
Aaron Jones runs up the middle, gets stuffed. 4th and 1 on your own 23. Do you go for it in that situation? We ended up punting, and it was a bad punt, too.
Yeah. I mean, I would have gone for it, like, because if it's 4th and 1, I think you trust your running back.
Yeah.
You got stuff, but you can come up with something. Even if you don't necessarily use the running back, you can drop something to get 1 yard.
Quarterback sneak. I mean,
Right.
the Packers never do that, but we
works
could.
for me in Madden. I can get that 1 yard whenever I need it.
That's true. It is like a guaranteed play in Madden.
But
unless they line up, when they do like the what is that? It's like the nickel package where you have the 2 linebackers right there.
Or you just do what I do and just do the set up for a kick or a field goal block.
The field goal block always works to stop the run. It's the best.
Yep.
Team should do that against the Vikings. Just field goal block.
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
Force Cousins to try to run.
Yeah. But, the Packers ended up not going for it. We elected to punt. It was a 30-yard just punt. Our punter had a bad game. Did you see him on the punt return?
I didn't see him, no.
Oh, okay. The guy did, like, a tiny little move on him, and he almost fell over backwards. Getting juked. He just almost fell on his butt. It was not a good game for our punter, J.K. Scott, but,
Yeah. You know what's
okay.
weird?
A win is a win
Is a win, yes. You know what's weird?
And Packers, #1 seed as of right now.
That's true.
So,
It's
good
really
stuff.
weird. The Vikings game had a lot of the similar beats.
Yes, it really did.
We shut down the Bears defensively.
Mm-hmm.
At least we shut down their offense. They took advantage of our mistakes to keep it close. And our punter looked bad.
Yeah.
Actually, maybe not our punter so much as our entire special teams.
Yes.
But
special teams was the only thing the Bears really had going in this game.
Yeah.
And it was my man 4 for 1.
Yeah, Cordero Patterson. He said, "Hey, I'm gonna make the Vikings just subtle reminder. I could be still kick returning for you guys."
Do you wish he was still kick returning for you?
I don't know. I mean, he's one of the best kick returners. So I mean, there's that. Can't do much else for you.
It's weird how the Bears always get the best kick returners.
Yeah.
Like they had Devin Hester and now Cordero Patterson. Neither of them were good anywhere else.
Nope.
But
yeah,
really good at kick
They
returning.
get the kick returns. Yeah. So I mean, that was the what the Bears capitalized on. They had 13 points. So they had that touchdown. The kick return was their only touchdown, and then 2 field goals.
Yes.
That's all they had.
Yep.
All night.
Vikings defense, I will say, has looked like very good these last few weeks. Granted, you're playing the Bears.
And
the Bears can't score a touchdown on anyone.
Yeah.
They're garbage. They have a good defense. They have absolutely no offense.
They got nothing on offense. And it showed. Meanwhile, on the other side of the ball, we tried to make it a trifecta and just run Dalvin Cook for 200 yards. 3 weeks in a row. Didn't work this time.
No. 30 carries for, 96 yards, I believe? Yeah, 96 yards. Not a great average, but this is what the Vikings offense is.
Yep.
This is what you got to expect. Dalvin Cook is going to carry it up the middle a lot. And because I think that's what you have to do with Kirk Cousins.
Absolutely.
We saw earlier in the season Kirk Cousins trying to throw a lot of passes. It doesn't work. He throws picks.
Yep.
He's not good. He's not good under pressure. If the team that you're playing against is allowed to blitz and blitz consistently, it's going to be a bad day for Kirk Cousins. So you have to keep them on their toes with the running game, which Dalvin Cook allows you to do.
Yep. That's the thing with Dalvin Cook. Like, even if you have a team with a good run D, he's a good enough running back where he can still make good plays.
Bears, very good defense.
And you can just throw him at it. Just throw him at that defense 25, 30 times like we did. And then that puts the pressure off Cousins, allows him to make smart plays, and allows our receivers to show what they can do. And we have good receivers.
Yep. Do you think this is a good enough formula moving forward for the Vikings? Like, obviously, the Bears isn't the cream of the crop of the competition that you're going to be playing as we go towards the playoffs.
It's absolutely a good enough formula to keep us in every single game. Like, we won't get blown out with this formula. The question is, you're going to have a situation, whether it's against the Saints in a couple weeks, whether it's against the Buccaneers, or whether it's when we play the Bears again somehow. You're going to have a situation where Dalvin Cook running the ball is going to burn too much clock. We need Cook to make Cousins to make a couple passes downfield. And do you trust him to do it? And at that point, the other team's going to know Cousins is going to be throwing the ball. So that's what it comes down to, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of Kirk Cousins, we found out an interesting tidbit on him. He's still wearing the full-size knee pads.
Yep, he's got all the knee pads. So for all of you wondering why he runs like 50% slower than every quarterback in the league, it's because he's got those knee pads slowing his knees down, man.
Although, to be fair, if I was behind that offensive line, I think I'd be wearing all the padding too. So
that would have been a fair assessment like a couple years ago. We're all right.
All right.
Like I feel
Packers
like our
offensive line though.
Yeah, but I just
Bakhtiari just got signed to an extension. I think he's the highest paid offensive lineman ever now.
Y'all have a weird habit of just
Signing
big contracts to random positions. Yeah. When do the Packers have like the highest paid punter and then kick returner and just I don't know.
Probably something like that.
They're just gonna have the highest paid special teams in a couple of years.
We'll see. I mean, once the Aaron Rodgers contract is
off
gone,
the books,
in a few years, hopefully
Pro Bowler Jordan Love.
Don't get me started on Jordan Love. Hopefully this is in the far distant future.
Right.
But I am curious what the Packers do with signing people because we signed Kenny Clark to a massive contract. We signed Bakhtiari to a massive contract. To be fair, Bakhtiari is he's one of the best offensive linemen in the game right now, and it's not even close. He's very, very good. So I like the contract a lot. Speaking of big contracts,
yes,
that suck. Yannick Ngakoue.
Oh, Ngakoue, yeah. How about that?
Some interesting stuff on Ngakoue if you just are watching. Vikings traded for him in the offseason. It was like the one move they made to improve their roster. All the rest were to make the roster horrible.
Yep.
And it didn't really work out.
Nope.
And eventually they traded him again.
Yep. We were 1-5.
Less draft picks than they traded for him. So just straight up, we're unloading him.
Exactly. We're just trying to, recoup a little bit of the losses. So we were 1-5 when we traded him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Since we've traded him to the Ravens, they've gone 1-2. So for those of you keeping score at home, that means Ngakoue is 2-7 on the year.
Yes.
Now, before the Ravens got Ngakoue, they were looking really good.
Yes, they were.
And since the Vikings have traded Ngakoue, they've looked good. So the teams that have had Ngakoue without Ngakoue, they're 8-1.
Interesting. So are we just saying he sucks, or
he's either he sucks, or he's just like a curse on whatever team he's on right now.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
there was so much hype for him coming in.
Yeah, there was a lot of hype. He was going to be like he was filling Everson Griffin's shoes. He was coming off. Wasn't he a Pro Bowler last year?
He was a Pro Bowler. But
yeah. Whatever that's worth.
Yeah, whatever that.
But I mean, hey, he's supposed to be a big upgrade to the pass rush from whatever we were having for Griffin's spot, and we figured with a guy like Zimmer, he'll figure out the best way to utilize him.
Yeah, but you would think, but it did not happen. But Zimmer's got the defense looking good, so I don't think you can really complain too much. One interesting note, speaking of running the ball a lot, this is going back to the Packers now. The Packers have this weird trend I've been noticing where they run the ball a lot on 2nd and 10.
Huh.
And it seems so just aggravatingly stupid to me.
Did they run the ball a lot on 1st and 10?
No, we tend to throw it a lot on 1st and 10, it seems like. There's some drives where, and it seems like it's more the Aaron Jones drives, because we have Aaron Jones drives and then we have Jamal Williams drives. And this is the way the Packers offense does it.
This is the way.
Yeah, this is the way we're going to do it. So, if it's an Aaron Jones drive,
we
run it sometimes on 1st down. If it's Jamal Williams drive, we throw it on 1st down.
Yes.
And sometimes when you throw the ball, it's incomplete.
Yes.
So then you have a 2nd and 10. And the Packers have run the ball 28 times on 2nd and 10 or more this season.
Wow.
And guess what? Guess how much we're averaging on those runs?
2.3 yards.
That's a little low. 2.9.
Okay.
Still not good.
No, it's not good.
That's setting up your team for a 3rd and 7.
Yeah.
Not what you want.
It's not what you want, but here's the so when you have a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers and a wide receiver like Devontae Adams, when else are you going to run the ball? You got to squeeze those runs in somewhere, right?
That's a good point. But
you could just do it on 1st down, I guess.
Yeah.
And just hope for the best. But
Run
I feel
on
like
1st down.
I feel like with Devontae Adams, you just want to pass and just hope for the best, right?
Yeah. For context, we are running on 44% of 2nd and 10 or longer situations.
Wow.
That seems very high to me. And we have good running backs. So, and I get that that's LaFleur's thing. He's kind of a running back sort of coach. He wants us to do the Vikings thing.
Yeah.
Use the run to set up the pass, which I think is what we want with an aging Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
But at a certain point, if it's just not working, this is kind of one of the reasons why our offense has struggled in some games.
Yeah. That's true.
So, I don't know. That's just a thought I had.
Maybe with Lazard coming back, they'll mix it up a little bit.
I think with Lazard coming back, I said this last week, but Lazard is finally activated now. He should play this week. look for the Packers offense to really explode. I think, and MVS is playing good now.
Yeah.
Like
MVS,
sure,
like now that his seat's hot, he's like, hey, I'm gonna be good now.
Yeah, we started trashing him. Like I basically disowned him. He used to be my favorite player, mostly because I like saying Marquez Valdez-Scantling, but he is actually stepping up. He had his career high yardage, 159 yards. Granted, he had like an 80-yard bomb where he used the ref as a blocker.
But he's had a couple of those in the past couple games because he had a big bomb against the 49ers too.
Yep, that's his role though. Like he's an extremely fast player who sometimes catches the ball. Who knows? It's like a 50-50. But if he does, it's a touchdown. It's great.
Yeah.
And he's been catching it pretty well. So look for that to continue. And now Lazard can kind of move into that more steady number 2 role. And I think the Packers offense is getting set with the number 1 seed. And I think the Packers stay the number 1 seed going into the playoffs.
They have a distinct advantage, I think, because
schedule. It's very easy.
Yeah, schedule. Basically, they don't have because they've already played the Vikings twice.
Yep.
So their divisional rivals aren't really anything to be worried about, I don't think.
No. To me, it seems like Bears and Lions are both going in the wrong direction.
Yeah. I mean, Lions are just constantly floundering. They're just always treading water. 8-8, 7-9, whatever.
Yep.
And then the Bears are they're just in a mess of a downward spiral. So, which brings us to why the Vikings are going to go to the playoffs.
Wait, what?
Yep.
Are they expanding or how?
No, they don't need to expand, all right?
But you were 1-5.
Yeah. Remember when we were 1-5 and I was saying
tank for Trevor?
Yeah, tank for Trevor. Right. Remember that? No more. Fun. No more. We're going to make it to the playoffs.
Really?
Oh,
You're buying into the hype.
All in. Here's why. 3 reasons. Reason number 1 is the Bears.
Okay.
The Bears are disappearing. They're spiraling away fast. They're at a point where their fans are begging for Trubisky.
You don't want your fans begging for Trubisky.
No.
That's never a good sign.
They weren't even begging for Trubisky when they drafted him.
No. And
so
he got benched. He's garbage. For some context, the playoff picture at the moment, you got your division winners, one of which is the Eagles at the moment, leading the division at a outstanding record of 3-5-1. And then you have some wild card teams that will not get a home game, that are 7-3. That's the Buccaneers. They're the 5th seed at the moment. The Rams are the 6th seed. The Seahawks are the 7 because of tiebreakers. That division is super interesting. Cardinals right now have the lead because of the tiebreak, but they're all at 6-3. Who knows how that's going to go down, but I think all those teams make the playoffs. Tell me why they don't, though. Because you essentially need one of those teams to lose a lot of games coming up for the Vikings to sneak in. Because those bubble teams right now are all NFC North teams, which is fascinating. It's the Bears at 5-5, Vikings at 4-5, and Lions at 4-5.
Right.
How did the Vikings get in?
So that was the first point, right? The Bears and the Lions are going in the wrong direction.
Yes.
We have the tiebreaker over them for right now, and I think we'll probably beat them again, hopefully, and then even better tiebreakers, right? So there's that. Reason number 2 is the Saints. The Saints...
Drew Brees injury.
Exactly. And we're not exactly sure how long he's out for. Mm-hmm. It's a minimum of 2 weeks. It could be longer, and we're not sure what Jameis Winston's going to look like. Who's notorious for making sure that his pick numbers and the touchdown numbers are the same.
Yes.
No matter what.
Yeah, very consistent.
Yes. So, I mean, and the Vikings play the Saints. So if you're in a situation...
In 3 weeks, right?
In 4 weeks.
4 weeks?
4 or
okay.
5.
So
potentially Breeze is still out. If Breeze is still out, that's a good sign for the Vikings. I mean, obviously you don't want to cheer for people being injured, but
you do want to cheer for COVID if you are the Vikings. You can pick up your COVID T-shirts.
Right.
They're selling them at the Vikings Stadium. Okay, I'm done with this joke. But anyways,
yes. If Cousins, Cook, and COVID.
Yep, that's the three C's of Vikings playoff chances. Yes. Because in case you don't know, if there are enough COVID cancellations, the playoffs will be expanded to 8 teams, making it from each conference.
And then the Vikings,
pretty much the Vikings.
Yeah, the Vikings control their own destiny at that point.
Yep.
So that's another positive sign, right? So either we're facing the Saints,
yes,
and potentially they've dropped a couple with Jameis Winston. Mm-hmm. I think that's one potential path for us, right?
Yes.
There's another potential path though, and that's a Rams-Seahawks path because the Cardinals, Rams, and Seahawks still have to play each other a bunch.
Mm-hmm.
which means that if one of those teams isn't up to the same snuff, which I would say is the Rams, he would probably say the Seahawks.
I think
right now.
the Seahawks are the
If
weakest.
one of those teams don't play up to snuff, though, that can open a path for the Vikings again.
Yeah. This coming week, Seahawks play Cardinals, so you might start to see that.
Yep.
One of those teams start losing some games. The Seahawks already have been losing some
Mm-hmm.
games. I think the Seahawks have a chance of dropping. I don't see the Cardinals are, I think, a lock. They're too good, and I think the Rams are too. They're very balanced. They're a good team. I could see the Seahawks sliding, and then Saints possibly. I don't know though. I just don't see. I don't see any of those teams losing enough games that the Vikings can get in. Even if you do, you'd almost have to win out.
But that's the thing. I only see one guaranteed loss left on our schedule. That's the Buccaneers game, right?
Okay.
So then we could go as good as 10-6.
It's being a little hopeful.
That is being a little hopeful, but we got a lot of good matchups. We got the Jaguars, Cowboys, Panthers, Lions again, Bears again. That's 5 games we're favored in.
Yeah.
I don't know if we win those games, but we're favored. So if we win all those, then we're what? We're 4-5 right now. So then we're 9-5, right?
Yeah.
So then it's really all up to the Saints and Buccaneers game. I think we can win the Saints game. I don't see us ever winning the Buccaneers game.
Yeah, that's going to be a really tough one.
So if we can go 9-7, that puts us in a scenario where I think either the Rams or Seahawks can go 9-7 very easily. I looked at the Rams schedule. I didn't look at the Seahawks schedule, but the Rams have some tough matchups.
Yeah.
So they could end up 9-7. The Saints, it really depends on how Jameis looks.
Yeah.
But if we're even tied with the Rams, it comes down to tiebreakers. So I don't know how that breaks down
If you
because we
look
don't
at-
face the Rams.
Because we had a Drew Brees injury. Was that last year where Teddy Bridgewater filled in?
Yep,
And they won a lot of games.
they did. They went
With Teddy.
4-0. They
Yeah.
went 4-0 with Teddy.
Yep.
But I like Teddy better than
What's going
Jameis.
to stop that happening again?
I like Jameis better than Teddy. Or Teddy better than Jameis. I said that backwards.
Yeah. Of course you like Teddy better.
I'm
You
biased.
Vikings
Yeah.
owner.
But Jameis is just unless what's his face? Sean Payton
Yeah.
really reins in what he lets Jameis do in terms of throwing it downfield. He's gonna throw picks. He's gonna throw incompletions. He's just that kind of guy. He's just high volume. Whatever he does, he's just gonna throw the ball a lot.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just think that I think Bridgewater was a safer. He fit better for what the Saints needed last year.
That's a good take.
They haven't announced Jameis as the new starter.
Really?
They said they were going to have Taysom Hill and Jameis Winston take first-team reps. Could you imagine if they go with Taysom Hill?
Please do. Like,
Well, that helps us, though.
Yeah, I know, but like, I find Taysom Hill to be hilarious because he's not good. I don't think he gave us the win.
Yeah.
When we played him. Like
That's
he
true.
just handed us the ball and said,
See?
"Here,
maybe
take this dub."
maybe he'll hand the Vikings a playoff spot.
Wow.
Yeah.
He might.
So I don't.
Dude, once again, like Saints just they're the Vikings savior, man.
Dude, that's what I see. I want the Saints. That's what's really tough about this is because I want the Saints to hold on to the 1 seed. Well, actually,
They won't, but
yeah, I just want to face the Saints in the playoffs again because I feel like that's the only team I feel confident against. Unless we're facing, I don't know how we
isn't that
I don't know.
that is the thing, isn't it? Do you think this Vikings team is actually like sure they can make the playoffs? Yay, yippee!
Right?
Do you think there are any teams that they could actually beat in a game
We could beat.
except the Eagles?
I was gonna say we could beat whoever comes out of the NFC East. Probably
Yeah.
the Eagles.
Yeah.
We could beat the Saints. We could beat the Packers. We did it once. We can do it again. We can beat the Seahawks. We almost did that. I think we could beat the Rams in the right scenario.
Okay.
We can't beat the Cardinals. We cannot beat the Buccaneers.
You're more like you're more crazy than I am usually.
No, it's an any given week kind of thing. We almost did beat the Seahawks. We should have beat the Seahawks.
Yeah.
We did beat the Packers. You can't argue with those two things.
But you will not be playing. Did you beat us in Lambeau?
Yeah.
Oh. Oh. I forgot.
And that's the thing. It's not about because I feel like a lot of those teams are of equally good tier.
Yeah.
I just think play styles.
Yeah.
The Vikings can just run Dalvin Cook against the Packers. The Vikings
seen
just
that,
seem to
yeah.
always have the Saints number.
Yeah.
The Seahawks are kind of a mess anyway,
Yeah.
unless like Russell Wilson is completely on his game.
Yeah.
And then the Rams, they've just had some games. Like, the Rams look good a lot of times, but they've just had some games where they just
Goff
so bad.
sometimes sucks. Like,
Yeah.
Jared Goff might just give you the win sometimes.
Anecdotally, I'll put it to you this way. The one Rams fan I talk to frequently, there's just some weeks where he just hates the Rams and thinks Goff's the worst quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And then some weeks he's like, Goff's the best quarterback in the league. So,
yeah. Well, no matter how it turns out, this is a fascinating playoff.
It is.
Like, having the NFC North be so bad, or the NFC East be so bad, sorry, and then the NFC North be like, this is all the bubble teams,
Yep.
and then the number one seed, because Packers will be the number one seed.
And then the NFC West. The NFC West is like all good, and then the NFC South is like how you normally assume a division is. You have one good team, one wildcard team, one team, and then just the Falcons. That's the other team.
Garbage.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's how you normally expect a division to play
the
out.
one normal division.
Right.
It's cool stuff.
Yeah.
Well, let's get on to the picks, where you jumped out to a very massive lead last week. It was a bad week. It was a good week for you.
Yeah, I ran the table.
It was a very bad week for me.
Yeah.
You went 4-0 with your picks.
I did.
You picked the Vikings to win and cover, which they did, and then you picked the Packers to win, but the Jaguars to cover the 13.5, which I totally should have did because 13.5 is so massive.
Those are trap spreads. You can't pick those big ones.
Yeah. So, anyways, you went 4-0.
Yep.
You are 12-5 on the season. That is a good record.
That is a good record.
Like, that's impressive.
That's what the Packers are going to be. Don't ask me about that math.
That's like way better than Bob. So good job.
I'm Bob's better half.
You're like half of Bob, but
yeah. Okay. Half of I'll be half of Bob, but I can pick better than him.
That is true.
I could really go mean to Bob and say that I'm like beating the guy who beat Bob.
That's true, but I'm doing horrible. So I went 1-3 on the week. I got Packers winning correctly.
Do you want a Justin Jefferson jersey?
No.
Oh, we're not doing that. No, not running that bid again.
I don't want a Justin Jefferson jersey.
We didn't agree on it beforehand, so I'll let it slide.
I'm 8-9. It's not good. I'm doing the Bob this year. So, but anyways, we got some interesting matchups this week. One more so than the other, I would say. But let's start with the boring one. Cowboys at Vikings. Vikings -7. Biggest spread of the year for you guys.
I think so.
That's pretty exciting. The Cowboys coming off their bye week.
Yep.
They're getting healthier. Dalton should be back.
Yep.
What do you think?
Now that Dalton's back, I'm not particularly confident in the Vikings. Like I think we'll win. I don't have a lot of confidence in this spread because they're still, in theory, a good team. Though they never play like it. They should be a good team.
Mike McCarthy does know the Vikings.
Yeah, he does know the Vikings. So
but he's not a good coach. So
I don't know. We're at home. We're riding hot. The Cowboys have mostly looked like a mess.
No.
So I think it's a situation where I don't expect the Vikings to lose, but I really don't expect them to cover either. So Vikings win, Cowboys cover.
Okay. I know I was just saying you're like completely delusional about the Vikings playoff chances and how good they are, but the Vikings win, Vikings cover. Cowboys are a mess. Mike McCarthy sucks. The team sucks. They don't believe in anything. Like, you watch a Cowboys game, the effort and just they're not trying anymore. They've given up on the whole season, I feel like. So I don't see this game being particularly close. I think the Vikings just run Dalvin Cook down their throat, win big.
Why try when you can just win the last 2 games of the season and win your division?
That's a good point. That's a good point. Cowboys are a mess.
Dude, just a random NFC East thought. If they didn't have to play each other interdivision, they would be all 1-15.
You could, you could, if we recalibrated everything and put one of each of those teams in a different division, they would all be 1-win teams. Yeah, they're such garbage.
It's rough.
Packers play a good team.
They do.
They play the Colts.
Depending on who you ask, the first good team they've played all year.
We played Tampa Bay.
You did play Tampa Bay. I forgot about that one.
And
second.
The Vikings, which you say are 75% of a good team.
That's why I said depending on who you ask. They're 100% a good team.
So we're at the Colts.
Yep.
And they're favored by 1.5 points.
Yeah.
Very tight spread. Not even giving them, essentially they're saying the Packers are the better team, but the Colts are at home.
Yeah.
So 1.5 points. You are leading, so you get to pick first.
So this one is relatively straightforward in the way I view it. It's going to be a close game. Both teams are good. No one's going to jump out ahead at any point, right? So it's going to be a game where it comes down to the last 3 drives or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who do you trust more in the fourth quarter with like 3 drives left in the game? What's left of Phillip Rivers or Aaron Rodgers? I trust Aaron Rodgers more.
Yeah.
So, and whoever wins this game covers. Like, it's just that's how math works.
Pretty much. It's very unlikely to be a 1-point game unless you're the Vikings and you're losing.
Anyway, so I say Pack win, Pack cover, but it's going to be really close.
Yeah.
If it's not close, Colts win. I don't see the Packers blowing out, but I could see the Colts just get. Colts did beat up on the Vikings earlier this year.
Yeah.
Beat the Packers earlier this year.
The Vikings, though. Like
that was the Yannick Vikings, though. The Yannick era is over.
Turned over a new leaf since then. I'm not particularly scared of the Colts offense. Jonathan Taylor's a good running back, so he'll probably get 100 yards. Start him in fantasy.
Naheem Hines
they do just run Naheem Hines way more than they should, I feel like.
Dude, the Colts, they're one of those teams that just like piss off fantasy owners. They're just like, oh, you started Jonathan Taylor this week? Yeah, now we're going to go with Naheem Hines.
Yeah, pretty much. But the Colts running game will have a good game. I'm just not scared of this passing attack very much. Like, the receivers for the Colts, they got T.Y. Hilton. Doesn't have a single touchdown this year. He's under 300 yards.
Remember when he used to like...
And then like Mo Alley Cox and Pascal. Like, I think our cornerbacks can shut these guys down. Phillip Rivers won't be able to do much. If the Packers get out to a lead, we got this game in the bag. The Colts are not coming back on us. However, the Colts' defense is quite good.
Yep.
I'm a little nervous about the Colts shutting us out early as they get their running game going. And we see, kind of similar to what the Vikings did, could possibly happen to us with their good defense. The Packers need to come out of the gates hot.
Yeah.
And I think with Lazard coming back, our running game kind of had an off game against the Jaguars. I think the offense does come out hot. I think the Packers win, Packers cover. But this has potential to be a bad game for the Packers. So I see this as actually, like, this might be the first Packers barometer game.
Are you just going to not acknowledge the Buccaneers game?
That was an off day for the Packers. That was after the bye, right? Like that was.
Was that offset?
I don't know. Because Aaron Rodgers got a new girlfriend.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's why we suck.
Excuses.
Yeah. He sucks.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
So
right. Yeah.
That's what was going on there. This week we put it together. We beat a good team, and now you can finally say that the Packers deserve their number 1 seed.
Y'all ready for this?
Dun, 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 dun.
Xavier Rhodes is going to get an interception.
Okay.
Yeah. He's going to rip.
There's no way that happens.
Steal one from
you know who
Devontae
does
Adams.
get an interception? The Packers.
Did you hear Alexander?
Because Phillip Rivers is very good at throwing interceptions.
He is. You know who isn't? Aaron Rodgers.
That's true.
But that's okay. I don't know. Like, Xavier Rhodes isn't like a big play kind of cornerback. He just does what he does good. So.
Yeah. It should be an interesting game. If Packers win, we are almost a lock for the number 1 seed because this is possibly our hardest game left on the schedule.
I don't know what your schedule looks like, but it might be.
Yeah.
Because I know you
play.
So
if Packers win this game, you can feel good about the Packers' chances heading into the playoffs.
Yep.
Do we actually beat the playoff teams? That remains to be seen.
But you guys can't even beat the bubble teams.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It doesn't matter, though.
Whatever.
Packers are the number 1 seed. We're the best
Vikings
in the league.
are the number 7 seed.
Hey, you should be happy with that. And give you Viking fans a little hope.
Yeah, I mean...
The Tennessee Titans last year were 4-5 at this point in the season, and they made it to the AFC Championship game. So, could happen. We'll have to see.
Yeah.
Week 10 in the books. Or not in the books. We are in Week 10.
No, Week 10 in the books. Week 11's coming up.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Numbers.
Math is hard.
It's okay.
Thanks for watching, everyone.
Yep.
We'll see you next week.
See ya.